Hello, legal-minded friends. Donna Adelson's attorneys indicated at the Donna Adelson last conference hearing before the trial will start that she will testify in her upcoming trial. Now, this strategy will open Donna Adelson up to be cross-examined by the prosecutor. And we know the prosecutor is the same prosecutor who ultimately got convictions against all so far that have been charged in the death of Dan Markel. I have done several videos, so I will flash them up on the screen as and when, so that they'll provide you with some background and what you should expect in this trial. So check them out, as they will prepare you for this long-awaited trial against the defendant, Donna Adelson. On the screen is the 3 indictments against Donna S. Adelson. S stands for Sue. We found out a lot in the previous trials. For example, Donna likes to talk, write emails, and new evidence was that she kept notes in her daily calendar, all of which can be used against her by the prosecutor. She can, of course, decide not to testify, and we will not know for sure until she is called to testify. Technically, a defendant does not have to prove their innocence, as they are presumed innocent. It is the prosecutor's burden to prove the defendant is the person who committed the crime. So with all that in mind, if Donna Adelson does decide to take the stand, she will likely be asked some very specific questions, since she has said she is not guilty. For example, she will be asked, how did she originally hear about her ex-son-in-law, Dan Markel, being shot? And why did she attempt to flee to a non-extradition country? So what I want to do now is go to the police interview that Donna Adelson's daughter was having with the police. They had picked her up and let her know what happened to Dan Markel. So Wendy Adelson is Donna's daughter, and her ex-husband was shot. They had picked her up to let her know what happened, and during this very long interview, which we do cover, she wants to call her mother. So let's listen to how Donna reacts when she's given the news. First, I want to discuss how we got here. Why would prosecutors suspect the Adelsons of hiring a hitman to eliminate their daughter, Wendy's ex-husband, Dan Markel? On the day of the shooting, Wendy Adelson was picked up by the police while having lunch with her friends. She finds out about the shooting from friends leaving messages on her phone, and police tell her that Dan Markel was shot and he is in intensive care and will most likely not make it. Police are asking her who would want to do this, and 23 minutes in, she tells police that her brother made a joke. He looked into a hitman, but it was cheaper to buy her a TV instead. Well, I don't know about you, but it doesn't seem very much like a joke now, so I can understand why police were investigating the family. And just over 4 hours and 23 minutes into the interview, Wendy calls her parents. Let's have a listen to how Donna reacted after hearing Dan Markel was shot.
No, I think it's a shock reaction.
From them?
You know, right? Shock reaction?
Yeah. Oh, and I'm a shaker when I get upset. So yeah.
I don't usually shake. I really don't. Okay, here it goes. This is the worst day of my life. Maybe I should text them if I can't reach them. Hi, Mom. How's it going? Mom, I need you to sit down. I am fine. The boys are fine. I need you to sit down. I'm fine, and the boys are fine. Danny has been. You can put me on speaker. Yeah. Danny has been shot. And I don't think he's going to make it.
So we heard her say, what? What? Twice. Wendy tells her parents she needs them to come to her. Donna asks where did this happen. Wendy says in the house. She goes on to talk about the support that she has, and Donna Adelson says they will come as soon as they can. And she says, you said he's not going to make it. Where is he? Wendy says he is in ICU, in the hospital. She is worried about Wendy driving and calls her back because Wendy was going to say something, and Donna must have realized after she hung up too soon. Wendy asked her mum to call Charlie Adelson, her brother. This was all in 2014. So Donna doesn't really sound too upset about Dan Markel being shot. She sounds a bit in shock, but I wouldn't say she sounds too concerned. So Donna's voice sounded shocked when she said, what? And the second time she said, what? She sounded like she had a higher pitch to me. Did you catch that? Some studies indicate that people's pitch may increase when they are lying, especially if they believe that pitch increases during deception. So, what did you think of that? Rewind if you need to, but I thought she sounded a bit shocked. But I had always thought she had indicators of lying when her pitch went up higher. Now, this could be because she wasn't as surprised as we can hear in her voice. Let's listen to a news clip a few days after the shooting and see if you can catch a reason why Donna Adelson may not have been surprised when she heard about Dan Markel being shot. So let's have a listen to that.
This isn't the domain of gunshot victims, but college professors and family men like Markel, who earlier that morning had dropped his two sons off at daycare and drove home. There in his garage, left for dead until that neighbor found him checking on the curiously open garage door.
Okay. All right. Standing by, and I've heard about break-ins in the area, and so I decided to walk over and take a look, and the garage door was open, asking what was happening, and then I saw the window shattered.
But Markel, a renowned law professor, wasn't robbed. Law enforcement source tells ABC News the assailant waited for him in the driveway, then followed Markel into his garage. A single bullet hitting Markel beneath the jawline, but it didn't kill him.
He's still moving around, so he's alive.
Markel would die 14 hours later at Tallahassee Memorial Hospital, just a few minutes' drive from the house. What happened to the conscientious professor and father of two? And who would want to kill him?
We do believe that this was not a random act where he just surprised somebody. What we do believe is that Mr. Markel, unfortunately, was the intended victim.
In other words, murder. The investigation begins with that 911 call, 12 long minutes describing the gruesome scene from a 72-year-old neighbor.
I came back over, and his driver's side window is shattered, and he's battered and can't answer.
And that first clue, another neighbor telling police about a silver Prius speeding away.
Nobody saw the person come or go. Maybe they saw the car. Is this professional? Is this a crime of passion? What do you think?
It could be either a professional or someone who just wanted him dead who isn't a professional. We can't tell. Anybody could have gotten that access and committed this offense without being noticed by anybody.
But it was noticed by someone, Markel himself. Multiple sources tell ABC News Markel was on the phone when he arrived home, remarking to the person on the phone that there was someone in his driveway. He did not sound threatened.
We do believe that this was not a random act where he just surprised somebody. What we do believe is that Mr. Markel, unfortunately, was the intended victim.
It's imperative for police to question the ear witness as much as possible. That person listened to this deceased professor moments before he perished, so every detail could become relevant.
Then minutes later, that silver Prius seen speeding from the scene. A vehicle of interest, but what about a person? Harvard and Cambridge educated, Markel had a controversial blog, the Prof blog. Could this be clue number 2? Just 2 days before he died, Markel posted a blog about the death penalty, the same website on which he received threatening comments in 2012. One commenter saying that Markel needed to be stopped by all means necessary.
Did you catch it? Dan Markel was a law professor. He had had threats made against him over his position on capital punishment. Was Donna Adelson's reaction to this news shock, as in, it's happened, and she was not surprised? Or were these threats against Dan Markel an opportunity to plot, conspire, and hire someone to take him out? Because who would be the wiser? He had plenty who made threats against him. So if Donna takes the stand, the prosecutor's position is that Donna Adelson hated Dan Markel so much that she would benefit because with him out of the picture, her daughter Wendy and her grandchildren would move to Miami to be closer to her. So we are going to hear a great deal of circumstantial evidence from the prosecutor as motive. Now, my legal-minded friends might know this, and true crime enthusiasts might know this. Motive is not an element necessary to prove guilt, and motive alone is not enough to convict somebody of a crime. But heck, it sure does go a long way if a jury knows what the motive is. In this case, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence, or should I say coincidences. And when you have a lot of circumstantial evidence, it is indirect evidence that starts to add up as more than just a coincidence. Donna Adelson, if she takes a stand, will also be questioned about her communications caught on wiretaps. The bump, that's when a special agent approached Donna Adelson. And Kate and Meg Benoit, in her retrial, implicated Donna Adelson. And I cover all of this. But what I didn't cover is this. So Dan Markel was shot in 2014, but let's go back to May 2022 in the retrial against one of the conspirators. Now, this attorney representing one of the conspirators has a really interesting argument about the bump. And if you remember what the bump is, because you've watched some of my videos and now you have the background. If you haven't, you can go watch it after. But you'll get enough from listening to this little clip to know what it's about. So let's watch this attorney ask questions of one of the agents that set up the bump. See if you can see it catch. Hear something that I think Donna Adelson's attorneys will use to her advantage in her trial coming up, because she's going to be questioned about the bump. We know that. So let's have a listen.
Let's talk about, for a minute, the operation that day. You guys were down on south of 5th and Miami Beach, right?
I believe so, yes.
There's a whole bunch of agents that were involved?
Yes.
Because you need to have it for security to have other agents around, correct?
Correct.
The Miami Beach Police Department, they were also involved?
Yes.
So we had dozens of personnel.
There's quite a few.
It's a good amount of taxpayer money of agents and law enforcement that are involved, right?
Yes.
There's also a high-altitude plane.
That I understand that my job in this operation was simply to be the undercover agent. What was in the air or how many law enforcement were around, I can't tell you.
I'm not saying it was your choice.
No, I'm saying I don't know if there was or there was not a high-altitude plane is what I'm saying.
All right. But you'd agree with me that it was a full-on operation, right?
Sure, yes.
Now, with respect to the letter that was given, and understanding that you're not the case agent.
Correct.
It's not you making the decision.
Yes, sir.
This is not the letter that was actually handed to Donna Adelson, is it?
Not the one that's on that.
Nor is it an exact copy of it.
Well, I remember, to my recollection, I remember a news article, some type of news article, and Mr. Markel's picture on it.
You would agree with me that you don't remember exactly what was written on it.
Now I remember the dollar amount that was written on it, that was handwritten on it, and the phone number that was written on it. There was a phone number written on it.
But you can't recall exactly how it was written, right?
How it was written? What do you mean by how it was written?
Are you telling this jury that you fully remember what was written on the paperwork that was given to Miss Adelson?
What was handwritten, yes.
Correct.
What was written on it. How it was written, I don't know.
Okay. You would agree with me that for the Federal Bureau of Investigation, it was an oversight not to make a copy of the exact one that was given over.
That is correct.
In the previous bumps that you've done previous bumps, right?
Numerous.
Copies are made of whatever's handed over to the target.
Yes.
Now, the purpose of these bumps, and I think it's obvious, but let's go through it, that you approach a target and you want to see what actions are taken after that bump, right?
Well, like I stated earlier, there's different purposes for a bump, but in this situation, that would be correct. We bump and see what would happen after.
You want to see who's going to contact who.
The purpose of the bump was to activate or tickle the wire.
All right. You want to tickle and see how it grows. Sort of like plant a tree and see how it grows, right?
Something like that.
All right. Now, You'd agree with me that there's two different ways to do this. You can do it organically, where you just go up and go, we helped you with the situation, we want money, right? Could have done that.
That's pretty much what we did.
But instead, it was not done organically because you said, my brother, right? You said your family, right? You said Katie twice, right?
Correct.
And you said Tuto twice.
That is correct.
And ultimately, there was communication between Charles Adelson and Catherine McVanwa, and then Catherine McVanwa and Sigfredo Garcia, who was Tuto.
That I don't, like I said, I don't know what happened
Not the
after
case
that.
agent. You would agree with me, though, that it could have been more effective to just not mention names of people to then see if people are going to communicate instead of giving a roadmap of what you think the communication should be.
I just did as I was instructed.
And that was Agent Patrick Sanford that instructed you?
That is correct.
Your Honor, if I could have one brief moment, I think I'm done.
Did you catch it? Because I think Donna Adelson's attorneys will use this information to her advantage. He points out what the agent said to Donna Adelson verbally. The agent gave her a roadmap, and you know what a roadmap does. You follow it along, and where it tells you to turn, you turn. By saying they were helping Katie, one would think it was natural that she would go to her son Charlie because of that disclosure by the agent. So this led Donna Adelson to contact Charlie Adelson and ask him about it because Katie McVanwa was on the payroll working for Charlie, and Donna was cutting those paychecks to Katie McVanwa. So obviously she would want to know what's going on. I cover that in this video. So my point is, could this be why Donna Adelson is heard saying on the wiretap, which she'll be questioned about, when talking to Charlie, and she said this letter that was given by the agent involves the both of us because she was cutting the paychecks. Because she was cutting the paychecks for him. So using a little critical thinking here and reasoning, because he said the name Katie, that's why she said it involves the both of us. And when Donna Adelson does contact the agent, which you will see in that video, does it help her, Donna Adelson's defense, that she told that person pretending to be the gang member, if they know anything about what happened to her ex-son-in-law, they should contact the police to get the reward, which I believe was around $100,000 at that time. So that was much more than the $5,000 they were asking for.
Then the 5K?
Here's what you need to do. You need to go and...
Don't tell me what to do. I know what to do and I'm doing it.
You're looking for money. Get $100,000 or whatever whatever the reward is. It isn't me. You have got the wrong person. That's why I said ask your friend. You're
Donna Adelson.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I've had too much stress and too much aggravation from this, and I don't know what you are talking about. I just don't know. I just don't know.
Good. I think you should talk to Katie. Talk to people that are involved in this. You'll know. You know what's going on.
That's why I'm...
You tell me.
If Donna Adelson takes the stand, the question the prosecutor will want to know is why didn't she go to law enforcement? And this is why in the conference hearing, if you watched it, this was the hearing before the trial is about to start. They were trying to work out if the defense can say that it was a Latin King member, gang member. And they want to be able to say this because they want to be able to say this is why Donna Adelson did not contact law enforcement. I think that's why the defense is saying it's so important, if you watch the pre-trial conference, that they want to be able to say it's a Latin King because there's a big difference to a Latin King member, gang member, than a normal gang member. And that's why, again, Donna was using code words when talking to Charlie. So if Donna Adelson does take the stand, we might hear why. There is a recording of Donna Adelson saying to her husband that he wanted to report the bump and being extorted to law enforcement. So they did discuss this with their lawyers at the time. And interestingly enough, her lawyers are part of her witness list. So I think this will be really interesting to see what advice she was given. Now we know if Donna Adelson does take the stand, she will definitely be asked about why she was trying to flee the country, and that's when she was arrested. So on the screen you can see I've done a video of that. It's very different, I think, to how an arrest would have gone down in the UK, so check that out. I did a video on how extradition works, and in specific, the country, Vietnam, that Donna and her husband were going to go. So check out that. Since recording that video, Donna Adelson at her bond hearing tells us why. I will cover that in another video, as I found a recent case which deals with the whole process, and that will really help us to also discuss consciousness of guilt. So look out for that video. Donna Adelson's trial is about to begin. Jury selection, I believe, the 19th of August 2025.